Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. The S&P 500 was down about 0.3% today, kind of breaking our little post-election run that we've had. Really, I just think it's profit taking. We just had the biggest week of the year. Markets, up almost 5% overall between, last week and this week. And so people going to take some profits. We're actually pretty stretched out too. When you move that quickly in a short period of time, there's a thing called the RSI index, the relative strength index. And on a 14-day basis, it was stretched really high, actually, not as high as it can go, but certainly in an area where you start to see some profit taking. And again, I always like these things. I talk about this all the time. I think that, you have to have that kind of retreat to be able to have some rest in the market to consolidate a little bit before you go to another level if that's going to happen. So not an unusual circumstance. 0.3% isn't that big. The one thing that was kind of interesting is that we only got to spend one day above 6,000 on the S&P 500. I kind of alluded to that yesterday where, sometimes it's harder to get through these levels. They don't always provide that much support. So I suspect we'll be above that at some point here in the near future as far as that goes. There's nothing particularly on the market's mind right now. We do have the CPI report that comes out tomorrow. So, we'll see how that plays out. The expectation is that it would be the same as last month. So, we'll see how that goes as far as that happens. But I think the bigger picture will play out next year to see what happens with all these different policies and whatnot. But the market does seem to be really just kind of focusing on what we know, which is where we are right now with the Federal Reserve. Are they going to cut rates in December again or not? Or do they pause at that point? There's a whole bunch of things that we'll be looking at coming up here. But I think, for the most part, the end of the year is a good time, and we'll probably continue to see some moves. The very end of the year, though, you do get a rebalancing that happens. So sometimes, if you look at, for example, last year, kind of from like the 20th to the 28th, you'll often have a downturn, and then things will take off again, just as people are rebalancing all these big, target date funds and what have you too. So overall, things are doing pretty well. Let's see how this plays out, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you very much.